Hey guys, my name is Carrie Howard, and thank you so much for watching the video. I wanted to introduce myself and also Jennifer Ashburn. She is the other co-leader for the chaperone group all this year. The reason I wanted to do a video is just to, of course, put a face to a name for those of you who don't know me, who might be new, but also because it's a really great opportunity to serve our students, and there's some specific things to go through to make sure everything is very smooth, but also there's some other thoughts that I wanted to share, and I'm going to start with those first. So in general, what chaperones need to be doing and thinking of the whole year long is that we are the protectors of our students. We're the first and foremost, making sure they're there, making sure they're accounted for, all the things that they need. We have these backpacks, and they are super packed with really anything that could go wrong, that does go wrong. We typically have stuff to help them out with. But the other aspect that is a little bit newer of a concept that I haven't talked about in years past that I've served is kind of that role model aspect that we have the opportunity to be. You see, we are with students more than any other area of service with the band outside of uniform. And that's because uniforms are touching them and measuring their face to face, but they're usually with us on the bus anyway. So if you're riding the school bus with the students, we're like face to face sometimes for hours, sometimes days. And it's a wonderful opportunity to get to know them better. It's been brought to my attention of the 5 years that I've been here, there's a lot of pain in the students' lives. Unfortunately, not all of them have support. Some of it's pretty drastic. And so I wanted to encourage you to set your standard way up high, just like the rest of the band does. And you be that leader to them, because you might be the kindest adult they know when they're sharing their stories and their lives. I just want to encourage all of you as leaders in the chaperoning area and anything else you do, be kind. Always answer them kindly. Don't assume the worst. Don't belittle them. Don't ever say cuss words around them. We have a higher standard with the band, and I just want to encourage all of you as leaders to keep that high standard, just like the students do in the band. So that's what I wanted to start out with, and just encourage you to go above and beyond, even in the way that you interact with each other. You know, we don't need to be catty. We don't need to talk behind each other's backs. Let's treat each other the way we want to be treated, because those students, whether we want it or not, they're watching us. It's a great opportunity to show them leadership, and the way we behave with each other, we behave with them. And excuse me, I know life has been crazy, so it's just how it is. My phone dropped and I couldn't do the meeting at 8 p.m. the other night, and I've been working a lot, so that's how it goes. Such is life. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys and talk about the other ways that we protect them, and of course that's, the stuff that makes sense with the things that we do. So here we go. So for you newbies, the first thing you're going to do is when you walk the band room, you'll see the director's office is on the left. Go all the way down that wall to the right. Maybe this over. That is where the supplies are for us. We have white folders and orange backpacks that correlate with the number of the bus that you're going to be sitting on. You're never going to be alone. We will assign you with maybe 1 or 2 other people to be on the bus, and so y'all get together and decide who does what. So grab the folder, grab your sign that goes in the window, and grab your backpack, and y'all head out to the bus. It's important that we have the signs, because when we get out of the football games, it's dark, there's thousands of people, and we want to make sure they can see the bus and the sign, which one they're supposed to be on, very clearly and very easily. So get that in the window. When the students get on, first thing, have them hush, sit down, and call roll. You want to make eye contact with them. This is not, hey, I'm here. You want to make sure you see them. Same thing when we travel and go to different cities. You have to check their rooms, and you have to visibly see the person that's on your left.
I didn't realize that was going on.
And this is for every single time the students get on the bus, whether we're coming or going. Always make sure when they are seated, you know who's there. Next, there are exemption forms. Sometimes students write home with their families, and that's totally okay. Those forms have in writing to turn in 24 hours before the event. That doesn't always happen. If they hand it to you as they get on the bus, take it, that's fine, but I want you to take a photo of that page and put it in GroupMe. That way me and Jennifer see it. We have to have the parents' contact information, so that way when it's time to go and everyone's gathering stuff and trying to leave the ballpark, we can make eye contact with that person, say, you got your kid. Okay, good, bye. It's just an extra layer of security in there. So Jennifer and I get there maybe 30 minutes before you all do, and we mark the folders. We make sure that we put in there who was going home with mom and dad, who was going to be on your bus, and any last minute stuff. So just look at your list. It should be highlighted for you. Next, I mean, we can't go posting everywhere, everyone's medical business, because we're not allowed to do that. But if we have a student and they're like, say, allergic to bees, or maybe they have asthma, or they have panic disorders or anxiety, we need to let you know that so that way you can be prepared. We do typically have some kind of sting at least once a year, or somebody gets super stressed out or overwhelmed. You need to know that if they're in your care. So we'll make sure and get that information to you. I mean, it's basic. What they're supposed to do. Don't distract the driver, stay in your butt, and water only in uniforms. Don't bring bottles on the bus. It's, pretty self-explanatory stuff. You won't have to do a whole lot with that. So just don't worry about it if you're new. Just overall, if they do kind of get loud, be like, guys, hush, hush, hush. At competitions, you need to make sure that students have the buddy system. So it's not like you have to go everywhere with them or even on our big trips. You just need to make sure that they understand to stick with friends, because if we're around another 1,000 people, you don't know who's in the crowd. So just really encourage them to make sure that they're staying with somebody, and we can keep track of where they all are that way. When we get back, your last duty as a chaperone is to make sure the bus is clean. That's not your job, that's theirs. So pass out a trash bag, maybe Memorial Parkway, give them a few minutes to pick up their stuff, and then figure out between you and the other chaperones who's going to walk the bus to make sure they got it all. No more trash, no one left their instruments, that's happened. No one left their gloves or whatever. You're just kind of going back, sweeping through, making sure the buses are better than what we found them at. Next. This is a little bit more details about what the students need to do. When they go to a football game, they need to make sure they have their instruments and all the parts of their instruments, the neck straps and the mallets and the mouthpieces and the reeds. They get left. Make sure they have all their stuff. They need their flip charts and their holders, and now I guess their phone holders. These should be on their bodies. The Shaco black socks and their dinkles. But in the frequent chance that they're not, just make sure that they are. I mean, this is kind of crossing into uniform a little bit, but believe me, we've had kids march in black socks before. Gloves, they have to have those too. Contest, it's the same as football games. They need to have their hair tied up, just like football games, but we're a little bit more strict at competition because, it's competition. Makeup, of course, for color guard, they're going to have lots of stuff. They'll have flags and poles and all the things. So just make sure they get everything off the bus that they need for that competition. They will often have snacks on the bus, and that's totally fine as long as they're not in their uniform. They can have water only when they're wearing that. And then, of course, on the bus, at competitions, there are these traditional things that they do per bus. Just wait for it. It's fun. They ingest a lot of sugar, sometimes get very hyper. Yeah, there's that. So that's basically the roles of being a chaperone. And I wanted to go over that with the new ones, but also encourage our seasoned ones that we are in this together, and it's going to be an awesome year. Thank you all so much for your time, and I look forward to the first game. See ya.